Yeah, hey, hi. Welcome to Solutions. Come on inside. Hey guys, all right, so our first show, what I'd like to pretty much go over is start to disprove or let you guys know there's a lot of myths out there to exercise and fitness. Obviously, we're in January 2018, so a lot of us have fitness goals, nutrition goals. There's a lot of hype in mass-produced magazines and stuff. They tell us what we should or shouldn't be doing. Most of that hype, truthfully, is above and beyond anything that any of us should be doing. So what they focus on, they're always telling us we need to do more and more and more. Truthfully, if you're working out too aggressively, you're actually doing yourself damage. You're not going to achieve your goal if your goal is to try to drop weight because you're overtraining your body, you're beating itself up. And if you're even remotely trying to pay attention to your nutrition, you're also setting up a calorie restriction, which means your body isn't going to be able to replenish the muscle breakdown that you're doing in the process. Okay? So another key thing that a lot of people don't realize or that they don't think about along with their exercise when they're trying to embark upon a lifestyle change, they're really not drinking an adequate amount of hydration or what have you for their increased level of exercise or cardio. So keep in mind the fact that it's sort of like if you were to go out in your car and you're going to drive to work every day or what have you, if you're not keeping a gauge on the oil to make sure you have enough oil in your engine, sooner or later that engine isn't going to run optimally. Our body works the same way as far as breaking down calories, food, everything we put into our body. If we're dehydrated, it's going through all those metabolic functions sort of in a state of a fog, okay? So, they typically recommend 8 glasses of water a day. I think that's fine if you're a female or what have you. I think for us guys, I think we're better off around 10 to 12 glasses of water a day. So it sounds like a lot, but truthfully it isn't. After a while, like consuming the water, our bladder and everything starts to understand what's going on. We're frequenting the restroom with less occurrence, if you will. So our body becomes more proficient at utilizing that hydration, okay? So that was the second thing I wanted to go over. Another thing that they usually don't talk a whole lot about with exercise or exercise programs is the importance of stretching. So oftentimes people will start exercise programs, they'll do cardio, they'll go into the gym, let's say time is a factor, what have you. They don't have much time, so they'll blast out 40 minutes of cardio, get to the locker room, grab their gym bag, haul you-know-what, back in their car and get off to work or back home with the kids. So if you're going to do exercise and you're not going to stretch afterwards, you're actually doing yourself a huge disservice, okay? So what you want to do whenever you're incorporating cardio or weight training, you also want to include a certain degree of stretching. And through the segments that you're going to watch here with me, I'm going to actually demonstrate some key stretching, which will go over that for each body part. So again, another pretty critical component, if you're looking to make some lifestyle changes and improve your functional capacity, range of motion, at the same time as you're trying to improve your image, your body image, and the way that you look and feel, all right? So what I want to do is just show a simple circuit here that everybody could sort of do. Certainly if you're a member of a gym, it's easy because there's flat benches, throughout most gymscapes, if you will. If you're not a member of a physical gym, what you can certainly do is you can lie down flat on a mat or a floor and replicate these same exercises. And I'll sort of explain how to do that once we're over there on the bench. So follow me over here. Great. So basically, this here, typical flat bench you might see at any fitness center or what have you. The purpose of it is, you can do all sorts of exercises on a flat bench. What I'm going to show here is a very, very simple beginner kind of ab program. I say beginner depending on how quickly you transition from one exercise into the next, okay? I mean, ultimately, that's the deal. So what you're going to do is basically sit down at the bench towards the tail end of the bench, lie back. Okay. So what happens is when your feet are flat on the floor like this and you're executing a crunch in this fashion, okay, your whole abdominal girdle and everything is opened up. Most people traditionally, while they're doing a crunch, will lay on the floor or what have you and they'll have their knees bent like this. So the difference when my knees are bent, I just decrease the range of motion in my abdomen, which means when I'm doing this crunch, I'm using less abs, okay? So it's pretty common. People do that because they just think that that's the way they should do it. What I'm telling you is if you're going to do an activity and exercise, do it mindfully, do it the proper way so that you're getting a maximum result from the exercise. So what you're going to do is if you're using the bench, both feet flat on the floor just like this, If you're at home, let's say in your living room floor, you're actually just going to lie down on the floor with your legs out straight like this, okay? In either case, if you put your hands behind your head and crunch up in this fashion, that's more aggressive than if you put your hands on your abdomen and crunch up this way. So people say, how many reps should I do? You know, how often should I do them? What I tell people is if you're doing an abdominal crunch or anything like this, your abs are a high rep muscle, meaning you're going to do the repetitions until you start to feel a burn taking place in your abdomen. Now, for many beginners, that could take place around, let's say, 15, 20, 25 reps. If so, that's great. Stop there. The important thing to do when you're doing a crunch is you don't want to lead with the chin or the head. You actually want to raise your chest at the same time as you're doing that crunch so that you're not taxing your head in this fashion, which you commonly see with a lot of people when they're starting an exercise program. So for those of you that are a little more advanced, you have a bench like me, immediately after you do that crunch, what you're going to do is grab the back of the bench, feet are up flat on the floor, just going to raise your feet up about 6 or 12 inches off the floor, touch back down, back up, touch back down, just like that. So what this exercise is doing is actually, it's working lower abdomen region through here, as well as your hip flexors. So this is an aggressive exercise, certainly for the small of your back, so you want to be mindful towards that. So repetitions here, you may only start out doing anywhere from 5 to 10, but you'll build your way up to probably like 20, maybe 25 repetitions, and that's perfect, that's great, it's a great start. After you do that leg raise, you're going to slide on back, put your heels on the bench, and what you're going to do is take the opposite hand, crunch up, touch the outside of that knee, go back, touch the outside of the opposite knee, just like that. So this is an alternate hand-to-knee twist for a crunch. So our abdomen girdle is basically made up of a whole lot of muscles, middle, lower, side, and what this alternate hand-to-knee crunch is doing, it's actually getting those muscles on the sides of your abdomen, okay? So it's critical that when you're training your abs, when you're trying to build a strong core, you're working all the different aspects of your abdominal region, okay? So, mid, upper, lower, and certainly the sides as well. Just as I had started out to say the importance of stretching, that said, what you want to do immediately following any ab circuit, if you have a bench, what you're going to do is once you're done with that circuit or those 3 exercises, you're just going to gently lean forward like this, and you'll let your back sort of hang. What this is causing is a stretch throughout your lower back, lumbar sacrum region here. A lot of people feel this stretch. It just is a great opening, if you will, for the lower back. So you'd hold that stretch for anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds. If you need to bridge yourself on your legs and prop yourself up afterwards like that, that's perfectly fine. It's okay. It's acceptable. There is truthfully no, well actually there is wrong ways to exercise, so that would be a wrong statement on my part. There's a right way to do something and a wrong way to do something. But if you're unable to basically go from that stretch position like this to straight up, what I'm trying to say is that it's okay to use your body as a lever to bring yourself back up to a normal plane, okay? So there's a lot of great information I want to certainly tell all of you. I look forward to you guys tuning in to each episode where we'll get into it with a little greater depth. But what I wanted to do just with this first episode was sort of let you know, once again, most people when they start a new exercise program or they have these resolutions, they sort of hit the wall hard and they just go at it. But the problem with that is they're frequently going at it too hard. So they don't reach the desired goals of what they're trying to do. Typically they get burnt out or they get injured. So what I want to do is just give you guys a practical approach so you can realize the fact that in many cases, doing less is actually going to get you further along. You're going to get more out of it. Okay? So thank you for tuning in. Certainly look forward to having you guys check out the next episode where we'll probably go into probably the best thing we could do to start out is go over cardio, different aerobic exercise, where you should be training aerobically heart rate wise, as well as sort of dissecting a number of those stretches for our body. So once again, thanks a lot, and look forward to having you guys tune in next time.